So I'm going to close this, right? And I'm going to connect to a new file. I think the file is in Excel. I can't even remember the file is in Excel. So we'll add the file. So you connect to the file. If it's text file, if it's Excel that you have used to connect, just connect to the file. Once you connect to the file, we are going to join. So I'll put order. Okay, you know what? Then I'll connect to another. I don't know why it's doing that. Join is more resistant. Okay, so you put in order, then you'd open it. So we want to connect people and returns to others. So I bring people and I drop just there. Then I pick, we use union. So this is the inner join. So then I drop in the return, another inner join. So this is one way to join this. And I remember in the last class, I said you guys should try to join this data in different ways. You can start with people and start with return. Or because I showed you two different ways of joining last time. And you can interchange it. You can start with people, next order, and next return. Then you can start with people and next I will start with return and then order, then people. And you can start with you can start with order, just interchange it like that and see how good how well you understand join. So I want to believe that everybody is at this point, right? Guys, are we here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'll go to sheet 1. Please, if we are behind, just let me know now so I don't have to go back and forth again because what I want to teach you is a lot today. So please let us
Sorry, Ayo. The
yeah.
joining we are using here is kind of different from what we used last week. Does it matter?
So far it joins everything the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
No problem. Okay. So we are going to hide other ID. I don't need other ID, so I will hide it. I'm going to hide customer ID. I don't need customer ID. I'm going to hide it. I think that's all I'm going to hide shipping mode or ship mode, or we can keep it and use it for something else. So yeah, we can keep it. So today we'll be talking about parameter and the goal for our class today. Let me bring up my notepad. So the goal for the class today is to understand what parameter is. So let me just understand parameter, what it means. Then I think the second goal is to look at possible cases where you can use parameter. Then parameter actions. Those are the three things we are going to look at today. So we'll start with understanding parameter. So we can say parameter is a workbook variable, such as number, date, or string, that can replace a constant value in a calculation, filter, or reference line. What I'm saying is a parameter can be attached to a workbook to change certain things in our visualization, right? And those things that is changing is related to a field. Is related to a field, and those fields can either be numbers, date, strings, and so on. They can also be used, for filter. They can be used for calculation, and they can be used with what reference line. So a variable, we understand. I want to believe that we all understand what variable is. A variable is a place that holds, a value. So a variable is more like, is more of like a field. The field holds the value. So, but the variable, when we say variable, it can, you can adjust it. It's changeable. That kind of a thing. So we can also look at the definition of parameter in terms of like dictionary. The parameter is a set of facts or a fixed limit that establishes or limits how something can or must happen or be done. So you see, like I said earlier on, if you set the limits of a parameter or you set the range of a parameter, then it will affect what? It will affect the visualization that we are trying to um, that we're trying to present, right? So a parameter is there for someone to be able to what? To be able to interact with our workbook or our what? Dashboard, right? Or our, just either interact with our sheet, our dashboard, or basically the entire workbook, right? So if we look at types of or steps of creating parameter, right? So we'll look at the step and the types of the typical types of steps of creating a parameter. So first, to create a parameter, or to create a parameter, you have to first go to the command to create it. Then when you create the parameter, you can decide to show the parameter in your control, and you can decide not to show it. You can decide to create a calculated field or decide not to create a calculated field, but you must use the parameter. So if I create a parameter ordinarily, the parameter will not, there's nothing, it's not happen, like nothing, I can't use the parameter to do anything until I connect it to my data. I have to wire it into my data. So what I'm saying basically is this. If, for example, uh, say we want to check our customer, the top customer in terms of sales, sales. If, for example, we put our customer on rows, I want us to do that as I'm doing this. We click on the drop down here and say bar, and we bring in sales. We put it on the column, right? We'll see something like this, and we'll put it in ascending order. We have something like this, right? If, for example, I just want to give an example. If, for example, I want to know the top 10 of, the top 10 people that are buying things, I want to just know the top 10. If I come to this drop down here, I can come here and say show filter, right? And I can, no, don't let me do that. So if I come here and I say I go to filter, it's not doing what wait, just give me a moment, please. Yeah, come to customer here. So you come to customer names and click on filter. Are we all here?
No. Yes.
Okay, wait. Are we all on this with sales and customer names?
Yeah,
Yes,
I think
but
when I added the customer,
it's not.
sorry, Abiola here. When I added the customer name on the rows, it was saying that it has over 1,000 names.
And just say okay, just say okay. Don't worry.
Okay,
Just
all
okay.
right.
Then put the sum up here. Someone wanted to talk before you. Who is that person?
It's me. Mine is not this. It's not showing this way. I think it's scattered.
Yeah, what you do is click on the descending. Yeah, sort name descending by sales.
Okay, thank you.
Have you done that? So yeah, we want to believe we are all here now, right? Guys, we need to move fast. We have a lot to do. So if I click on this drop down, right, and I click on filter, it's the same as clicking on this drop down and clicking on filter is the same as bringing my customer name and dropping it on filter. It's the same thing. This is just, kind of like faster. So there are two ways you can do it. So I've shown you that there are two ways you can do it. So if you click on this, if you click on that filter, or you bring in customer name and you place it on filter. If you come to top and you click on by field, you can see it has already given you top 10. Top 10, right? If I click on apply, you see it to show me top 10, right? If I click on apply to show me top 10, I'm just demoing this one for you. So I click on apply, it's showing me top 10. If I go to show filter, you see, there's no real way to actually, these names, there are a lot of names. How do I start filtering? I want to know the top. Maybe, for example, I'm showing the stakeholders. Now, the stakeholders are not telling me that they don't want top 10, they want top 15. From this, how do I show them top 15? So it is not flexible. It's not flexible. But with the parameter, it is that kind of thing will be flexible. So I would undo this. I will undo this and I'll now show us how. So there are two ways to create a parameter, right? So we would click on this drop down, click on filter, click on top, this same top, by field, and click on this drop down, click on what? Create a new parameter. I want us to go to customer name, click on filter, go to top, then drop down, then click on what? Create a new parameter. Are we here? Guys,
Yeah.
okay, all we just need to do is click on it. Once we click on it, we say it will take us here. Then we can name it. We shall say top, we can say top end customer. Top end customers, right? We have top end customers. So we can say, it's already, because we went through that method, it has already selected the type of data. So it has said it's integer. It has given us the display. The present display was on the present display on the filter tab was 10. So it has kept it as 10, current value 10. Then it has given us a range. So it has said 1 to 100, and it has given us, we can say a step. So one step means that the parameter will move 1, 2, 3. So one step. If you put 2 here, that means the parameter will move from 2 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 8 to 10. If you put 4 here, to move from 1 to 4 to 8 to 12 to 16, 20, 24, and so on, right? If you put 5, it will move by 5, but 1 to 1, because we want to be able to see the one by one, right? So if we put all here, it means that it will just put a space there where you can just type in the name, right? It's not giving us a range. You can just type in the number, say number 15, number 20, that kind of a thing. So I can leave it in all, or I can use the range. So, but this one we are just practicing, just showing you. I'm just showing you where that you can create a parameter from this place. So we have put the minimum and we have put the maximum 100. You can increase the maximum also. You can, if you have more than 100 customers, but of course they don't want to check 100. They want to know the top customers, because they really, what concerns them with like they want to know the people that really spending money in their company, right? So I'll just put 100 and I'll put the step 1, right? So I'll click on OK. Are we all here?
Sorry, Femi, please, where can we create the parameters from?
You said what?
Where do we click for the to create the parameter?
I will just go back. I will go to cancel. So now I said, if you go to filter, there are two ways that you can get to filter. I said either by bringing the customer here and it shows the filter, or you click this drop down, you click filter. Once you get to this filter, you go to top. Once you get to top, you click on by field. Once you get to by field, you will see this top 10. But we don't want to rate it by top 10. We want to rate it, we want to create our own parameter. So we'll come here, create a new parameter. And once you click create a new parameter, it comes here automatically. So we'll call this top end customer. Right?
Yes, I'm following.
So, or we can, so where we need top 10, so we top end, so we will now come in this one because it has already picked the data integer. Current value is 10 because on that place that we're coming from was 10, top 10, so it's 10, 10 is this. So like I explained, the range, this range is saying 1 to 100. We can have more than 100 because we have more than 100 customers, but of course we just need 1 to 100. The step is to tell you, oh, when that parameter is going to move from 1 to 2 to 3. And this parameter, if you put 2, it will move from 2 to 4 to 6, like that. If you put 3, it will move from 1 to 3 to 9, to 6 to 9, 12, and so on. Likewise, if it was 4, and so on and so forth. So all I'll just do is I'll click on OK. Once I click on OK, it will show. You see this parameter I've created, top end customer. Once we do that, I'll just click on what? OK. Now that parameter will come and show down here. Now I'll now click on the parameter down here. I'll say what? I will say show parameter. It will show the parameter. Now if I increase this, what is it doing? It's increasing the number of what? It's increasing the number of people that are there. If I come to this drop down, I say type in. You know, we have slider. If I say type in, it shows. You know, if I come here and I type 50, it shows the top 50. If I come here, I type in 5. What does it show? It shows the top 5. Now, I'll just quickly demo something for you quickly. You don't have to do this. So I want to create a dashboard for this sheet now. I put the dashboard. Now you have the parameter, right? So let's assume that I've created this dashboard for my stakeholders now. And they want to, you know, and maybe, for example, now, what I'll just do is I'll rename this top customer. I'll remember this one as top. I'll rename that top end customer as top customer. Right? I was the one that, sorry, rename it as top customer. Top customer is 5, right? So if I want to say, I want to check, I want the stakeholders to be able to check top customer. You can just say, you want to check top 20 customers. You see on the dashboard, he has already checked it. So you see the reason why parameter is very important. So I would go back to the sheet. Now there's another way to create this parameter. What I'll do is I'll click on this parameter and I'll click what? Delete. Delete. You say you should delete. Okay, I can't delete it that way. Okay, it has deleted here. So I've deleted it. So another way to create a parameter is to click on this drop down here. It's the same thing. Click on the drop down, you say create, no, not field. So you click on drop down, you click on create parameter. So if you click on this drop down now, if you are doing this alongside with me, you click on this and you click on create parameter. Once you create parameter, now we will name it. Name it top customer. I will name it top customers. So data type, because I know the kind of data that it is, I can easily pick by myself. I'll say integers, because I know the data type I want to use. So it's integers I want to use because is number, right? It says display top value. I don't really care about the format, the display format. I don't really care about that. But if it's currency, then I might have to change it to currency or change it to percentage or something. If it is percentage, I might need to change it to percentage. But it is I'll leave it in automatic. You understand? So then the current value 1, that means the current value, what's showing is top 1. But if I leave this in all, it will do for all the data. But if I want to give a range, I can give a range. But I leave it in all. It should do it for all the data, right? So if I click on what? OK, like this. And it's on OK already. And I click come here and I click on show parameter. If I put 100 here, is it changing? It's not changing. If I put 5 here, is it changing? It's not changing because this parameter has not been connected or wired to this data set. So how do I connect this parameter to this data set? Now, the way to connect this parameter to this, there are 2 ways. Either you come to your filter here, right? You come to this top, you come to by field, and now put top customers. In the other one, we created it through this place, through the filter. But now I'm creating it what? I've created it and I'm coming to pick it in the filter. So I will now apply. Or there's another way you can do it also, a faster way. You can just carry this top customer, just place it in filter. And it's not going to take it, so it won't take it. So you is the way I showed you earlier. So you come here and pick it. I was thinking to take it, so you don't take it here. So now we can just type in. If we want top 10, we can just type top 10. Top 10. But another thing that we can also do is this. We can want to create a number, like just a number by the side. To do that, what we need to do is double click on this page and type in index. Type in index and say enter. When you double click and type in there, say enter and bring index, put index behind your customer. Undo. So what you do is hold your control and put index behind your customer. Why is it not doing that? Okay, undo. So what we do is let's convert this index to discrete. So you click on this drop down. So okay, I'll just go over this again quickly. Then I'll delete it quickly. So I want to believe we are all here. So I would double click here, just double click. Once you double click, type in index. You will see this index function. Click on it, then say enter. Once you enter, then you click on this drop down, change it to discrete. Once you change it to discrete, you now put it behind the customer. You see what it has numbered it, it has given you a number. Right? So what we want to do is now create a calculation field. We want to create what? We want to create a calculation field. Are we all here? Guys?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we want to create a calculation field. So what we do is we click on the drop down. We'll click on create calculation field. Then for this calculation field, we'll name it in what? In top n. So we would say index Because what this index does is, index is a command for numbering. So what it does is it numbers. So we say index greater than or equal to top customers. So index greater than or equal to what? Top customers.
Oh, yeah, that's not greater than, that's less than.
Oh, sorry, less than. Sorry, less than. So it's less than or equal to. So it is less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. So what we are trying to say now is this: we are creating a calculation field that is telling us that, okay, once this index field should show when it is, what should show is the ones that are, equal to or greater than top customers, right? So I'll click on OK. So I can drop this in the filter. If I drop in this filter, I will click on true. So what I'm trying to say is that we can show the index that is not true. You understand? And we can show the ones that are true. So what we are saying is that we want it to show the index for the ones that are equal to, or that what do you call it, that equal to or less than the top customers that we already shown. Do you understand? So if I click on apply, so what I can do is, what I can now do is I can remove I can decide that maybe if you want to keep the numbers, you can want to keep the numbers so that the person that is, looking at the data can see the number. So you can want to remove maybe the field label. Not the field. You can want to remove the field label, right?
Sorry, Ayo. So
Yeah.
I think I'm lost. From where you created the calculated field?
Yeah. So when you create the calculator field, you drop the calculated field in filter. Once you have created it, you drop it in filter, then you change it, then you highlight true. Then you say okay. Then you can hide this calculation field, right? You can hide the, what's it called? You can hide the head. So up here, you can now change the title name. We can say sales. You can say top, what would I say? You can say top and now put custom, top customer. You can say top something, maybe let us say customer. So what this is, we are inserting the parameter of the top customer. So we are saying top, is top end customer. So we are inserting the parameter of the customer there. So that's the value. So if I click on apply here, it will say top 10 customers. So if I change this to 19 now, for example, it will change to top 19 customers. If I change this to 25, we see that value will change there, top 25 customers. So we can add this to, to play around. So let's go to, do you all understand what I did there?
Is it the name you edited? I didn't
Yes,
see
the name.
it.
So the name, what I did was, I want the title of this sheet to show the title of the parameter, what the parameter is showing, right? The title of the sheet, I want to show what the parameter is showing. So what I've done is, for now we are saying we don't know, though the stakeholder said they want to see the top 10 customers, but we can start demoing and they are saying, okay, let us see the top 15 customers. Let us see the top 25 customers. Or maybe when you give them the file, they want to now check further, just for them to interact with the data. Now we are now seeing top 10 customers, right? So this end now, we want to replace it to something that can change. We will now insert the parameter, because parameters, remember I told you parameters are like field also, they are fields. It's a field on its own, right? You can see that the parameter is just here by the side, it's under fields, but it's parameter, it is not in your data, you have created it. And you're using that parameter to give command to your data set, right? So what you are doing is, so if I put this parameter, this value here would change based on the value that I put in these top customers, right? So if I click on OK, it will, you see top customers. So, or top 20 customers, top whatever customers. So if I put 20 here, the value will change, say change to top 20 customers. If I put 10 here, the value will change. Any value you put, I put 3, it will change, right? So it will keep changing like that. So that is number one.
Sorry, something is wrong with my INSOP customer that we created. It's saying it's invalid.
Okay. Let me stop sharing. Can you share, please? So yeah, click on it. Right click on it and edit. So we said customer backspace, backspace. Backspace. So backspace. So what you want to say is do the less than or equal to. Less than or equal to now. Less than or equal to the customer with top end, less than or equal to top end customer. Just type in top end. You don't need to type in that bracket. You see, it has brought it out. Click on it, just click on it. That's it. Right. Now click OK. So we are saying that the value, that value, we want it to be equal to the parameter. So remove your customer name from filter. Remove it from filter. Remove your customer name from filter. Okay, now put in top customer. Click on true. Okay, apply. Okay. So if it's still the same thing, it will work. It will do the same work. So if you adjust your parameter, please. No, you didn't use the same type I used. So you say once you adjust your parameter, it's changing. It's changing.
Yeah.
So click on the drop down. Now you can change the type. You can change the typing. No, go down, down. Type in. Okay, now. So it's typing now. So if you click inside and you type a value there, type any value. You see.
Okay.
So that's it. That's a way. That's a way to. So now what I've done is this. So if you stop sharing now, so you can get. Oh, hold on. Then you can remove you can hide the field. What's it called? So click on the ID, the index, the index and the bracket, the table head, Yeah, right click on it. Now hide fields label. So now you see I've removed that. So you can stop sharing now.
Thank you.
No, she needs to do the title. She needs to rename the title, Adura.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Share again. So if you share quickly, So click on the title. Just double click on it. Yeah, okay. I like everything. I like everything. I like everything. Now type top. Now click on the insert. Insert. Now click on parameter top end customer. Click on it. Now put space. Now customer. Then remember to put space in front of top too. Customers or customer. Then put space in between top. Then in fact, one more step. I liked that top parameter from that. I liked the parameter. I like that parameter. Not from that place where no. From that sign. Yeah, I liked it all the way to the other one. Then click the drop down of color. You change the color to maybe here. Click on that. So apply. Or okay, just anyone. Okay. So you can see what it has happened. It has highlighted that top 20. So you can even bold it. Now, if you go and change the top end customer, you don't need to do it now. Just you can do it later so that we'll move on quickly. So you can, if you go to that top end customer now, type in 2010. Yeah, and you see, so we can also change that parameter. We can change the name to top rather than top end customer. Just change it to top. So then the person will know. If they change it there, then they can, top 10 customers, it will show. So
Okay.
you can stop sharing now.
Thank you.
Welcome. So I'll just do the same for myself. I'll just click here. I'll click here. I would rename it. I'll just say top. Right. And then everything is fine. So I'll create another new sheet now. So now we want to look at moving average. We want to look at how we can use moving average to analyze the data. Right. So the first thing we want to do is put our order date. That's a new sheet. A new sheet. Put our order date in column. Right. And bring our sales. Put it in rows. Then we'll click on this plus sign to make it to be in month. What I'll just do is this rather than doing it this way. But just hold on. Rather than doing it that way. Click on this drop down here. Change it to months. So that we'll see it right. So once you put date there, just change this. Change it to months. So you can have it in weeks, you can have it quarterly, or you can have it in months. So I will just put it in what? In months. Have day, you can have, so you can just put it in months. So if you notice, there are two types. There's one that will change it to like, if you change it to, how would I put it? You change it to what is it called? If you change it to a measure, but we'll pick the first one, this month up here, this one. So you can pick months, you can pick this one. 2014. So do we notice these two types? Guys. So we'll pick the month. We'll pick the month here. So if once we pick the month here, we have something like this. Right. So what we want to do is we want to duplicate the chart. But before we duplicate the chart, what I'll just do is, let me see. So, okay. So, yeah, let's use weeks. So we want to have like a pattern on these weeks. So we use weeks instead. Let me put day and let me see what it does. If you know, not that day, this day. Yeah, 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 yeah. So we have something like this, but you see, this data like really is not really telling us much. This is the order by day, the sales by day, that like over the period of how many how many years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years, right? We have date. So do we all have this? So I'll just show us this thing quickly again. So we'll put order day. We'll put the date, the order date. Where is that order date again? Order date. We'll put it on columns. Then we'll click on this drop down. We'll change it to day. You know, there are 2 days. There's one that shows in dimension, there's one that shows in measure. So we'll pick the one of measures. We'll click on days. Then to show it like this. Do you all understand? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so the next thing I want to do is we want to hold our control. Hold the control and drag this one. We'll dualize it. We'll have 2. Once we have 2, like this, the first one, this second one here, we'll change it to what? We'll do a quick calculation and we'll change it to what? Moving average. So we can see the moving average, right? Then what we want to do is, with the moving average, we can change it to line. Then what we can do is, we can dualize it. Right? We can dualize that moving average. Let's see. Let me see. Let me just see something. If I put it in weeks, let's see how it goes. Let's see it in months. Okay. So this is the moving average, right? In days. So okay, now we have the moving average now and the usual sales. So what we can do is we can now, if you are all here, what we can do is we right click on this and now synchronize it with we'll synchronize both axes. So click on synchronize. So it has synchronized the axis. Then we'll click on this and we'll click on, you can remove this, what do you call it? You can remove this axis. You can click on this show and it will go. So now we have just one axis dealing with the 2. Now, because we have synchronized it. Now, what we want to now do is, now we want to,
Can you take it again, Nora?
so
From where you
we have dualized it now. We have this.
yes.
So, okay. So I said we'll change this to moving, we'll do calculation, quick calculation. We change it to what? Moving average. Now it's moving average. Right. So it's on moving average now, right? So what we want to do is now come here and dualize this. So click on dual axis. This one will be on top.
Sorry, why did you get moving average? Is that the same as normal average?
It's not the same. So what I did was I came here, I came to this drop down here. I went to quick calculation and now came to moving average. So click on what? Moving average. Once you click on moving average, I change the bar to line. And when I did that, I came here, I did this drop down. right? This drop down, and I dual the axis. Well, when we dualize the axis, we will need to synchronize the axis so that the value on the right is the same as the one on the left. So we'll synchronize it. We'll right click on this axis and we'll click on synchronize. So now it will synchronize them together. Right? So when we synchronize, the next thing we want to do is I want to show us something. So we'll click on this drop down here. And we'll click on what? Edit table calculation. When we click on edit table calculation, you can see that it's calculating the average based on the previous two values and the what? And it's calculated based on the previous two values and the date order, right? So we can always adjust these previous values that is calculating the average based on, so that the moving average can be further expanded, can be longer, right? So I can, if I close this now, what we want to do is change that value, that value. Let's create a parameter, right? We'll come here, we'll create a parameter. Just like we have created parameter in the past. Name the parameter n days. We'll change the value here, the data type to integer, right? We'll use range. We'll use minimum 1 and the maximum 100 and step 1, right? And we'll click OK. I'll just leave this on for a while. So are we all here? Guys,
Yes.
so we'll click on OK. So when we click on OK, we say what? We show parameter. So we have the parameter. But like I said, if you click on the parameter, it cannot change anything because it's not what? It's not wired into anything. So what do we want to do now? We want to create calculation. So what we are trying to do is in this place now, we want to create a calculation where in this value here, these two value here, we want to change it to what? We want to change it to the end days. So to do that, what do we need to do? We need to create a calculation field. Are we getting what I'm talking about? Are we understanding what I'm saying?
No.
Do you have a question?
We're following, but we don't get what you're trying to do.
Okay,
Like,
so
what are we doing?
okay, what we are doing is we have this, you have a data, right? And this, you have a data, and all this data, all these sales, you have a data talking about sales, and all these sales, they have an average of sales daily. But moving average calculates the pattern of the average over time. So the calculation of the average that is being done by this calculation that I've done, this simple calculation that I've done, it has done it based on previous two values. So it has added the previous two values with the current values. Like, let us say the sales of yesterday was 50, and the sales of the day before yesterday was 60, and the sales of today is 100. It will add 50 plus 60 plus 100 divided by 3 to get the average, and now plot the graph like that. So it does it from the beginning of the sales to the end of the sales of the year. So in this case now, it's doing it from 1st of December 2013 to 1st of December 2017. So, but you know, the more you adjust this previous, you know, if you have the more the spaces, the more the space of the average. So if you are calculating the average, if you want your average to increase from, say, you want to, the average is calculating the 5 previous value. Let's say, for example, I put here 7 previous value. I put, okay, you see that the pattern has changed. Are you understanding now? Guys, you asked the question. I'm trying to explain. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you now?
Yeah, we're following.
You said what?
We're following.
No, it's not about following. Do you understand? I'm not asking you to follow. The question is, do you understand? You know, when you're calculating moving average, what you're trying to calculate is you're calculating the average of sales as the sale is going daily, because we are doing it on a daily basis. Now, if you calculate the average of, if for example, but now you're calculating the average of today in relation to 2 other days. So what we want to change now is the relation of the amount of days that you're calculating the average in relation to. You know, the more you calculate the average, the more you calculate the average in relation to other days, the better or the more refined your data is. Or better still, the more the prediction of your data is, of your average is. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yes.
So that's what you're trying to do, basically. So you're trying the moving average. What you're doing is you're calculating in relation to the previous data, the previous sales, right? You're calculating in relation to the previous sales. That's what you are doing. So what I'll do is this. Now, this calculation field now, this one, I'll just drag it in here, right? I'll just drag it in there. You hold the control, of course. You hold the control and drag it in. This calculation that I have done. So once I do this editing, you will understand better. So now, you know, I changed it to 7 that time. So the value has changed to 7. So now I will replace that 7. Now the 7 that is there with end days. This end days. Right? So when you replace it with this end days and click apply. So I'll just put this in the chat quickly. So that. So what we have done is this. You see, what I've done is I'll just undo a little before I will just undo a little. Just what I've done is this. See, in this this calculation we have done, you know, the calculation was done. I just did it automatically, quick calculation. So in that calculation, what it has done, what the summary of that value is that it has done the moving average for the present value, current value, and 2 other previous values. That's what it did the moving average for. But what I want to do is that I want this moving average now to be dynamic. I want it to be movable. I want to be able to change it with my parameter. So what I will do is this. I will close this. I will hold control, drag this, and put it in my order in this place. Just drag it in here. Instead of typing in the thing is already there. Why don't I will now name it moving average. Moving average. Once I name it moving average, I can now edit it. You know, it's a calculation field, so I can edit it. So once I edit it, you know, moving average, you see it has changed up here, so you can change. So I can now replace this 2. Don't replace the minus there. So you replace the 2 with n days. With n, for me, you know, I named my stuff n days. I put it in the chat also. So it's named there. So Windows average in bracket sum, comma, then n days, then comma 0. So then I just click OK. So when I click OK, it adjusts. This thing adjusts. So as I'm changing this thing, you can see it's adjusting. It's adjusting. It's adjusting. If I put it to the amount of days of this exact value, you see that it will be a straight line. Almost a straight line. So it's picking the average, the exact average of that, you know, of the data all along 100. But if the data is more than 100, it will pick, like, it will almost be a straight line because it's just picking one average because it's no longer moving. Do you understand? Do you all understand what I'm talking about now? So if you want, so you can use this parameter to adjust. So I can just change this moving average to type. I can change the type to what they call it, 25. So just to see whatever days you want to then you can remove, you can hide this one. And what you have is like this. Then you can still edit the measures. So you can edit, so you can edit, so you have something like this. So you can see the purpose of parameter in this moving average. You can use to get a pattern and use this parameter to be adjusted to give a form. So if the person wants, if for example you want to predict based on the last 25 days, the average based on the last 25 days from one particular day, you can use this moving average. You can use this parameter. So you say 25 days. If you want it to be 30 days, you can just put parameter 30 days and so on and so forth. Do you all understand what I'm talking about? Eh? Do you all understand now, guys? So you can, yeah, you can decide. There are different type of. So you can decide to use this kind of area chart or the line chart, whichever one that you want to use. That one looks fine for you. So this is when you are looking like in depth into pattern of sales. Like you see this one, the sale is very high, but you are looking like, you know, the sales is very high. There's no the relationship is not really much. So this one helps you to understand the relationship very well. So if you put the moving average of of sales and you put the moving average of profit, you can really see the difference between profit and sales. So this is for people that are really looking in depth into sales and profit, right? So that's why a lot of people are saying that they don't understand. But I'm just showing you this because of the purpose of this parameter, because parameter can be used for this purpose. So if we have we all gotten, did we all get to this? Did you all complete this part? So likewise, yeah. So did you all do this? Hello guys, you need to answer me because we need to move. Guys,
Sorry to pull you back.
I missed you.
It's confusing.
okay. Yes. So what I'll do is this. Let me delete this guy first. So what I'll do is this. For those of us that is confusing, I'll start something new, right? I'll start it afresh. So now we are trying to understand the average, how average of sales is affected over time. So we are trying to understand our sales. Now, if, for example, I bring in our order, where is our order? I bring in our order dates, I put it here, and I bring in our sales. Now we can see that in 2014, we had our sales is increasing, but it drops, then it now increases again. It picks up in 2017. You can see it. But I want to really understand this data properly, in depth, in granulated form, in terms of the days and how it moves during the day. Now, I can decide to look at it this way. This one is showing me in terms of what do you call it, month. But this is in what do you call it, in this is in a dimension, but I don't want it in dimension. I want it in measures. So where it is giving me those detailed in measures. So I'll come to measure days. Yeah, that's when we get this plenty. Now, we have this data already now, right? Now, but I want to understand, the average, how the thing is moving. So first, the first thing I did was I first changed this one to a bar chart, right? So with this bar chart, it's not really saying much. I can't really understand it because I can see some is going up, some is coming down, some is going up, some is coming down. I can't really understand. The only thing I can tell is, okay, this one is the highest. Then next to this one, then next to this one, next to this one. I can't really tell much. But a moving average can help you tell a lot about your data. So I said, the first thing I said we'll do is we'll hold control and copy this. Now, when we copy this, the top part is sum. The second part, we'll change it to moving average. That one is a simple calculation. So just come here, quick calculation. We come here, we click on what? Moving average. It's a quick calculation. It has done the quick calculation of moving average. And I came here, I said, I will change it to what? To a line chart. So I click on line. It changes it to line. Now, I now said, if you click on the drop down and you check edit, this is the moving average calculation, you see, moving average calculation, that the quick calculation it did. But if I click on this calculation that it did, the calculation that it did it based on the current value and two previous values. But these two previous values, while I am looking at my data, I want to be able to adjust it as much as I can. Just be adjusting it to suit my own preference. Like I want to adjust it to suit my own preference. So if I leave it in 2, that means every time I want to check the moving average, I have to come here to increase it to 3. I have to come back here to increase it to 4. I have to come back here to increase it to 5. But to avoid this, I can create a parameter to do it instead. So I said I will close this. Now we'll complete this one. We'll dualize this axis. We'll dualize it. Once we dualize the axis, then we will now synchronize it. What synchronizing does is, you see this parameter on this axis on the right. You can see it's 500, 100, 1005, 2000. This one is 0. This one is 0. This one is in thousands. So you can see 1000, 2000. You can see they are not the same. So if we synchronize, what synchronize does is it makes it the same. So you can see it has synchronized the data, the chart. So I now said the next thing we'll do is we'll hide this one. Once we hide it, we'll just hide it. It doesn't show it. So we have just 1 meter that is looking at sales and moving average. So we already know moving average is this because it's blue here. Moving average is showing that it's blue. So what we want to now do is this. We want to change that thing. So first, I said we'll create a parameter. You come to this drop down here. You click on create parameter. But I've already created the parameter. So I've already created parameter. So what I'll just do is I'll come here, edit parameter. I said I created I called it end days. I said integers. right? The display format, it doesn't really matter. It's automatic. It doesn't really matter because you are using one value. So yeah, current value, right? The minimum 1, maximum 100. Of course, the numbers of days that was being sold is more than 100, but I'm just using 100. But it can be more than 100 if I want to increase, if I want my moving average, if I want the value that is added to be more than 100. But I'm not doing that. So I just want it to be 100. So I put the step 1. And I will say okay. So when I say okay, what I will do is I will say show parameter. The parameter is showing. Now I want to connect. You see this parameter, I'm moving it, nothing is happening, nothing is happening, nothing is happening. And so I need to connect this parameter to this data. And the only way I can connect this parameter to this data is to put that parameter in this edited field, in this field, to put that parameter here. But I cannot type the parameter n days in this place. I can't type n days here. You see, it's not allowing me to type n, right? So I'll leave it on the 2. It's not allowing me to type n, so I'll just leave it on the 2. So the only way I can type the n is in calculation field. Rather than saying create new calculation field, I will not do that. I will just drag this one. So I will hold control and drag this average, this moving average. I will drag it into this place. This calculation, I'll drag it into and okay, I've already even done this before. Delete. Okay. So what happens? No, undo. So what happens is I'll delete this old one. So I'll come here, this new calculation, I'll name it. So I'll name it, I will edit it. So first, why edit it, I'll rename it here. I will name it moving average. So when I name it moving average, these two that was changing in that place, I will now change it to this end days. So when I type n, it will bring out the end days. I'll just click on it and I will say okay. So you see, it's moving according to these end days now. So if I type 2, I will change this one to the one I can type. So if I type 2 in, you see that it will go back to what it was before. If I type 3, it will change. There will be a change. If I type 4, there will be another change. If I type 5, you see the reason why it is coming down is because it is averaging based on the previous values. So the more values it average based on, the lower the value, the lower sales comes down, the lower the average sales comes down. Because it's like when the average sale, when the number here equals the number of sales, the numbers of days that was sold, the number of days that was sold, it divided by the number of days, then it will become very straight, perfectly straight. I don't know if you can understand that logic. So that is why you use this. And so this one is for people that are really doing like financial analysis and things like that. But the main reason why I'm teaching you is for you to know that you can use this function for such thing, right? So I will move forward. Now, if you don't understand it at this junction, then there's no other way that I can explain it to you. You have to watch the video and try to understand it by yourself, right? And you can still come to me later and maybe ask me some questions. I can go over it with you again. So I just make it like area to make it kind of like beautiful, to make it fine, right?
Sorry, I get it now, but my end days is not it's not moving when I kind of change it, just like you did yours. It's
Do you want to share your screen, please?
Thank you.
We have 10 cases, guys, and we are just done 2. This is supposed to be a very fast class.
Can you see my screen? It's not
So
changing.
he's saying I started sharing, but we can't see it yet.
Oh,
He's saying Kemi I started sharing, but we can't see it yet.
can you see it now?
Oh, I can't see it yet. It's saying you have started sharing, but it has not shared completely. Just you have shared your screen today now.
Yes, I have.
I don't know why it's not sharing.
I'll watch the video.
Okay. So yeah, so let's move quickly to the next one, guys. So we'll create another sheet again. So this one, understanding what is happening within sales or within profits, like within a particular day. Maybe you want to like highlight the total sales within a particular period. I want to show it in graphical form. So, but before I do that, this title here too. We can we can mess with this title too. We can say average sales. Moving average sales for you can now insert the parameter, right? So do you understand what we are doing here now? So it's you can edit it that way. So if I change this to 10, what does it do? We change to 10, right? So we're moving average sales for 10 days, right? Or we can say not for the every, let us say every or for the previous, for the previous 10 days. So we can write something like that. So it kind of define what we are saying. So if you are adjusting this parameter, the person is, once you are adjusting the parameter, the person that is playing with the parameter will be seeing it as it's adjusting. So you see it as it's adjusting. You see these are points. So you see it as it's adjusting. You see it as it's adjusting. So that's that as regards to that. So for this next one, we want to put our sales on the column, and we put what date on the where's date? Other date on the row. But this time around, we want to use what? We want to use these days. Just hold on, sorry. Yeah, it should be like this. Just the same thing that we did before, but now what we want to do is totally different. So what we want to do is, let us assume that we want to know, we want to analyze between, we want to show all this data, but we want to analyze between December 14th and December 16th. I'll be sorry. We want to analyze between September 2014 and December 2016. That's what we want to analyze, right? So we can create parameter for that. So for this one now, let us assume that like let us I don't have a next time maybe I'll bring a whiteboard. So what I'm trying to say is that let's assume I draw a line from here, from this is 2000 this September 2014 now. We want to find out the total sum of profits, total sum of sales between 2014 to 2017. We want to find out, but we want to show it in graphical form, right? We want to show it in graphical form. We want it to be within this chart, and we want people to be able to discuss. Let us say we are discussing with our stakeholders, and the stakeholder is asking, what's the sales from March 2014 to June 2015? Then they now say, oh, the sales is this. Okay, what is now the sales from September 2015 to March 2017? You see, this is a conversation, and it's not something you can be going back and forth. You want to be able to take it in your dashboard, right? So what we will do is this. For us to be able to do that, we'll create a parameter. So first, we'll create the first parameter that we're going to, sorry. Sorry about that. So you create the parameter. As we have been creating parameter, I'll come to the drop down. Create first parameter we'll create. We'll name it the first date is going to be from date. So the from date, the date that is from the front, from, we will now click on what? We'll call it date. And what is the format of the date? Is date format. So you can pick a format that you want, a standard of format that you want. If it's this kind of format you want, if it's this kind of format you want, if it's short standard format, if it's long date standard format, you can customize the what do you call it, format that you want to. So I'll just keep it simple. I'll use this one. Right. So current date, you just leave the current date. You can decide to use range. You can decide to use range, but I'm not going to use range. I'm going to use all. So the all will show like a calendar. So I'll click on OK. So look at this. So from date, from data type, date, display. This is what I'm using for my display. So, and all. Then I'll click on OK. Then I'll click on create again, parameter. The what? To date. I would change something before I continue. So to date. So for this one, I'll put date format. So this date, the current date, what I'll change for the to date is I'll change this one to, because it's showing my current date, so it's not supposed to show current date. So I'll put 2017, right? I'll put December 1st, 2017. Or let me say, let me not use December. Let me use December. I'll not use, instead of using 2017, I'll use 2016. I'll say okay. Right. Okay. So for the first one, the from, I will edit that one. The from date, I will edit it. I will say from 1st January 2014. 2014. I will now say okay. So I will say show parameter for the date, for the from date, and I'll say show parameter for the to date. So you can see from and to. So if you click on this date, you see a show calendar. If you click on this one, you show calendar. That's what it's supposed to show for you. Right. So I said for the from, let me check on the date that I use from the from. Edit. I see that it's always the ladies that are always behind. The guys, you guys should always try and assist the ladies with the. So this is for the one for the two. Then the one for the from is 01/01/2014. So if we have that, so if once we have that, we are good, right? So what we now want to do is, like I said, we always have to wire this thing in, because if I change it, it doesn't affect it. I have to wire it into my analysis. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll click on. Have you all gotten to this place? Guys, someone should answer me, please.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll click on analytics, right? Then when we click on analytics, we'll bring in what they call reference band. You see, this reference band is we are trying to like know the point in between 2 points. So we are going to bring in what the reference band. Right. So click on this band and we drag it and we'll bring it in. So we'll drop it on what? Table. You see, we'll drop it on table. We want to use table. So we'll drop it on table. So I'll drop it in table like this. Bam. So once I drop it in table, we bring out this. So it's going to be band. We are using the band. There's line and there's band. So we are using the band. So okay, now in the band, now this value part, we'll click on the drop down. We want to change it to the from date. You see, we have changed it to what? The from date. Then we want to change the computation to what? To value. We change that to value. Then that's the label. So that label we change the label to value. Then we'll do the same for what they call it for the to. We change the to date to this to date. Then we change the label to what? To value. Then the line, you can decide to use the line. We can decide to use this thin line, right? So can you see? We can see the line already. It's already showing. Now we can now decide. No line. I said. So we can now decide to use a different color. Right? To use a color, if we want to, you can decide to use a particular color. It depends on you. So I'll just put any color there for now. Let me use that one. Okay, so I'll just click. I'll just click OK. Okay, just hold on. Sorry. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so on the reference, because I was wondering why I made that mistake. So I was the one that made that mistake. So on the edit, so you click on the reference, not the band. So this line. So I don't know. I think I clicked on both of them. So that's why it was showing that way before. So I think I clicked on both of them. That was why it was showing that way before. I don't know. So it's something like this that's supposed to show, right? So that once I adjust this guy here, so let us say, for example, I change the month to, you can see that this guy is adjusting. You understand? It's adjusting. It's adjusting. So if, for example, now I want to name this sheet now, I can say, maybe I can change the title. I can say sales from these two. So I can say sales from, insert the from parameter to the to parameter. You see it's there. So this is the sales from this period to this period. But I want to know the total cost of the total sales of that period, right? Maybe I want to, in front of it, I want to say the total sales is. So I want to know the sales here. So I have to create a calculation field for that. Right. So what I'll do is I'll come to create here, create calculated field. I will now say what? I can name that calculation, say sales in date, sales in date range. And the sales in date range will be what? So you see now, we have started using some clauses that we will be learning, that we are learning. We are learning as we go. So this is the if clause. So if other dates, of course, you might not be able to understand this immediately. But I know some of us will know this if clause from Excel. So if other dates equal, no, if other dates less than, if other dates, no, sorry, if other dates greater than, or equal to the from date, the from date and undo and order date less than or equal to the two dates, then return, then then return. I'm not, of course, I'm not going to type the return. I was going to type it that time. So then return what? Sales. Then return sales. But what we want to do is that return, that sales that is being returned, when you write a command in Tableau like this, you write end. Now end. So you end it. So end. So now this it said that when the other date equals to the from date, this from date that we have put here, and the other date equals to the two date that we have put here, then it should return the word sales. But now if it's returning sales, what we want is what? Sum of sales. Sum of sales. But if we say okay, right? If we say okay, I'm bringing, and here we keep coming, and we now insert what? We now insert that, what do we call it? Sum of what? Okay, it won't be here yet. So what we'll do is we'll bring in this sum of sales. Let me rename it first. Undo, rename. So it should be sales. So sales in date range. So we want to put it in details. While we put it in details, we'll be able to see it within our insert here. So we can see it here. Aggregate, sales in date. So if I click on it, if I say apply, you see it has said what it is sales from this period to this period. But then again, what we want to also do is this. We want to also format this from number. We want to format it to what? Currency. We want to format currency, no decimal. Put the maybe 1,000 in front of it. Or if it's million, let's put million because the sum might enter million. Or let's just yeah. So if you do that, so if I put, what did I say? So you see, it has said it. What it said is sales from this to this is 4 to this. That's not what we want. We want the total sum. So to get the total sum, we'll come back to this formula here, right? We'll edit it. So in the bracket, so we'll see. Look at there are different formulas here. So if you click on your own system, if you click this sign here, it will bring out this. So if you type in search now, if I type in, we used index the last time. So you see, if I type in index, it says returns the index of the current row in the partition. For example, the row in the partition 1 equals 1. So that was why we use the index. I told you that we use that index to number, that kind of like to number. So if I type in total now, you see it says total, the expression. Total returns the total for the given expression. So the given expression is 4,284. So it will give you the total of it, of the given expression, of the expression within. So, but because there are different points, so if you put total here in the formula, and now there's a bracket here to cover the entire bracket again. So we have put there should be sum and then total. So we did sum, yeah. So we did sum first, sum then total. So let me cancel this and I'll just edit that thing again. So sum, so there will be total. So this sum it should be something like this. So I'll just put it in the chat. So it's the sum of what we have written before. So I'll just put it in the chat. So I'm sorry. So this should be the formula that should be there. So it's what total of the sum that we have done. Then running sum too is the same thing. So if we instead of using total, we can use Windows. Sorry, not Windows. So we can use Windows sum. Windows underscore sum. So Windows sum to returns the sum of the expression within the windows. The windows is defined as offset from the current row. So basically what you are saying is that if you do sum of this, is the entire sum within that row that it will bring back, that it will bring back rather. So if I click on OK, so you see it has changed the value to now to what it is supposed to be. So I think I formatted this. Let me format it here. Let's see. Let me format the number here. So currency, custom 0, and so it has changed. So where you change the format, where you format it is from the default. So you come to this range of dates, you come to this drop down, you come to default here, then you come to number format. So come to number format, come to number format, you come to the custom, currency custom, we make this one 0, put this, and we'll say okay. So like that now, like so we already have we have the total sales. Total sales from this period to this period is this. If we increase it, if say we increase this one now to like 2017, let us say this period. Can you see how the sales has gone up again? So this is what this data, this parameter can do in this kind of stuff. So yeah, so this is what it can do. So we would look at another thing that parameter can do. One more thing. Does anybody have any question there? Guys, guys, do
We are still here.
you have any question in regards to this?
Watch the video.
Okay. So okay, that's fine. So what I would look at now is we can look at one more thing, right? We can look at how we can use parameter for case statements, right? So we'll look at how we can use parameter for case statement. So we can first so the first one, what we did was we looked at the first one was we looked at how we can use parameter for to select top values, like top this, top that. We looked at how we can use parameter to select moving average. We looked at how we can use parameter to select dates. So we'll do two more things this night. We'll look at how we can use parameter to sort stack bar. So let's say, for example, now, I'll give an example. Maybe we have a stack bar that we have, say, let's see, what was that? We have a stack bar that, okay, let me create another sheet now. So we have a stack bar that we have the sum of sales, right? We have there's a subcategory. We have the subcategories, right? And we now have what? We now have the region in color. We now have it in analyze. You know that as this thing is now, we can have a feel of how this west is. This west is baby, but we cannot really see it in the any other because it has added everything up. He added everything up, the entire phone. He added it up on the west coast, on the south, on the east, and the central. So we want to be able to see each of them. But for us to see each of them, that means first, anyone, if it's west that wants to see, west has to be at the bottom to be able to even see a pattern to it, because you cannot really see a pattern to anything. Or can anybody see a pattern to anything? Please just indulge me and please answer me.
No.
No, thank you. So we want to be able to see a pattern. The only way we can see a pattern is whatever we are choosing. If it's central, central must be at the bottom, and it must be in what descending order or ascending order for us to see a pattern to it, right? So what we want to do first is create a parameter. We can create a parameter through the region, so we don't have to type out the things again. So we just come to the region, we click the drop down, and we say create parameter. For all of us, this is a new one that we are starting, so you can start this one along with me. The old one, you can, go back to it. So you can click on this parameter. If you click on the parameter, right, you see, now we have what? We have the, what do you call it, the region parameter. So in region parameter, we have the central. You see, instead of typing it out, I don't want to type it out. So the central, the value of the central should be central. The value of east should be east. The value of south should be south. The value of west should be west. If we notice, we have string here because it's a string, right? That's why it's string, right? That's why it's string. So the current value is central, and like that. So we just keep it. We can keep it. You see, it's fixed. It can be when the workbook is open. That means what it says that if you click on here, that means that if you open a workbook, if the data is updated or whatever, the thing will change. But for now, we just keep it on what they call it, keep it in fixed. So we just click on OK, right? It has created a parameter like we used to. But you can see it's AB. It says it is in because of the data type. You can see ABC there because it's string. So we'll say show parameter like we have always done, right? But if I click on any of this parameter, is anything changing? Is anything changing? Nothing is changing. They have not wired it into this parameter stuff, right? So for us to wire it in, we still have to create what? We still have to create a calculation field. So create a calculated field. Create the calculated field that we normally create calculated field. And we name this selected region. Selected region. We'll now say sum. Okay, before I like to write the formula from easy to, I like to write from easy so that it's easy for you to understand. So we say if region, right, equals to the region in the parameter. If the region that is being shown is equal to the region in this parameter, then return sales. Then I told you if you use the if, you always have to end it. So we say end, right? So we want the sum of it. Is the sum that we want. So we put sum in front of this calculation, in front of this. So I will just type the sum. So what? Oh, I made a mistake. Just me. I will also put a space there. So sum. So I just do the backspace and put there. So it has the comma rate. So sum of this. So if region equals to region parameter, then return the sales. So when it returns the sales, the sum of that sales that is returning, that's what we need. So that's why we have created. So selected region. That's what we have calculated there. Do you understand? So we say okay. So we have created a field for selected region. Right. So we'll come to this region here. right? This region in color. Because what do we want to do? We want this region to be sorted by, we want the color to always come to the back. The one that he chooses to always come. So we'll come to this region here at the bottom here. We'll now click on the drop down. We'll say sort. We'll click on sort. Once you click on sort, we say sort, sorting in what do you call it? We'll now say sort by field. We have already put it sorting. If we want it ascending, if we want descending on anyone that we want, we can change that later. So what we just do is we sort by field. Now, it has asked us for the field. So the field that we want to do is, the field that we want to sort is what? We want to sort the field by the parameter, the region. That's the selected region. Because we have linked that parameter to the region parameter to the selected region, if you remember. So now if I click on selected region, it automatically goes to the selected region. Do you all understand what just happened? Guys. Guys. And everybody has slept. Or people have forgotten me.
I'm still.
Eh?
We're here.
Okay. Okay, you are there. Okay. So do you understand what happened now? Huh? So if I change this, descending order, you see, if I change this, if I change ascending order, so what is happening here is this. If I come here, if I click on central will go to the back. If I come here, if I click on east will go to the back. If I come here and I click on south will go to the back. But still, we don't still have a pattern to it. And we need a pattern to it. So how do we add a pattern to it? We'll do the same thing to what? To category. Right? So we'll come to category here, we'll do sort. The same thing. We are using ascending, right? Or descending. Yeah, descending. We are using descending. So what we'll do is we'll sort it by field. And the field that we're going to pick would be what? Would be region, selected region. So when you see selected region, you see that adjusted. So we just say okay. So now if I come here, if I come to this guy and I click on central, what has happened? It has adjusted it accordingly. If I come here to east now, it has adjusted it accordingly. If I come here to south now, it has adjusted it accordingly. If I come to west now, it has adjusted it accordingly. Now I can read a pattern to it. Unlike before that I could not read a pattern to it. So that is what this field parameter does in this scenario. So we'll look at one more scenario. One more. Right? We'll look at one more scenario. We'll look at how we can use what do you call it? Parameter in what do you call it? To filter unrelated data sources. So let's see how we can use to filter unrelated data sources. So let's assume we have dates here, and we have order dates and we have sales, right? And this date now we decide to change it to month, right? And we have another sheet, another worksheet that we have shipment dates and we have profits, right? And this one we have it in months too. You see that this data is different from this data, but we want to make sure that the two of them are using the same parameter. But what do they have in common? They have the dates in common. So we can create a date parameter for this guy. Don't you agree? Guys. You should answer me now.
You're still here.
I'm asking you, don't you agree that we can use the same parameter for both of
Oh,
them?
you say so.
Huh? If I say so, you can actually use the same parameter for both. And how do we do that? We can still retain our from, and we can use this our from and to date to do this, right? So what we can do is this through filter. So what we can do is this: we can create a calculation field. We'll create a calculated field, and we would name it within date range, right? So what we will say is this: order date, right? Greater, order date greater or equal, no, order date greater or equal to from date. So from date and order date less than or equal to date. I will say okay. Then we'll take this and put it in filter. I will click on true and apply. Then these ones, these ones will show them to be showing, But we don't necessarily need it here. But we don't necessarily need it here because we are not going to use it here. So next is the other one. So we'll create a calculation field for this one too. But if we notice this one is ship date, right? So this one will still be what? It will still be within range 2, right? So within range 2. So I will just say the same thing, but this time around, what we'll do is ship date greater than or equal to from date and ship date less than or equal to date. Now, okay. So we'll bring this ship range, this one, we'll put it here. And what we apply. So it has applied. So what we'll do is this. These two, because of course they are in different sheets, the only time that you can use them together is when they are in a dashboard. So I'll create a dashboard for them now, just so that you see what I'm talking about. Okay. So we'll just put that here. I'll put the sheet underneath it. So what I have two sheets, right? So what I can do is I can click on this and say show parameter. So from show parameter to show parameter from. So if I click on if I maybe come here and say 12, you can see that both of them are affected. If I go further, if I click on this, you can see that both of them are affected. So the two of them can use the same parameter or different data, but you are using the same parameter. So we are using this one shipment, month of shipment. This one is month of order date. And this is looking at profit. This is looking at sales. In fact, we can even have order dates down here rather than we can have order data there rather than even shipment. And if I have order dates, what I'll just do is I'll interchange. I'll just remove this one, right? Remove this month, put order date here, right? And bring in order, bring in this range, put it here, put through, click on through, okay, and change this one to month. And we have the same thing. And I now go back to this dashboard. And then let me do this one. Yeah, I go back to dashboard. So we have what? Order date, order date. But what they have different things. So this one is showing sales, this one is showing profit. So you can see this is another way of looking at using the parameter. We have 5 other ways of looking at parameter, of using parameter, which is very, very important. There's one that is the most important. That one is using it with reference line. Guys, I want to ask a question, because I want to try and round up the class as quickly as possible. Because we don't have much to cover again, so I can do like a review, a revision later. So do you want me to like complete this so that you guys just watch the video? Because you guys are not interacting now. And the best thing is to interact and let me clarify you. Let me let you understand. When you understand, then you have to now, when you understand, you know why you are doing what you are doing. Then when you are practicing it, practice now makes you perfect or near perfect, right? So, or practice makes you better. But the major thing is to understand the basics. So all these things is what we are trying to do is we are trying to see how we can tie parameters within our calculation and to tie it to our data so that it can affect our visualization. So like we did here, we tied it. We did here too, we tied it here. We did here too, we tied this here. We did here too, we tied, the parameter in our, we did here too, we tied it. For the dashboard, we tied it to it. So do you guys want me to move forward? Someone should please answer. Guys,
Hello?
please answer. Should we move forward or we should stop here?
It's for me. Can stop.
You can stop. Do you understand? Do you have any questions?
Someone can stop.
You can stop. Do you have any question?
I have quite a number, but I think when I watch the video and I practice, then if I still have a question, then I can come back to you.
Okay. Anybody aside from anybody that has any question? So everybody's fine with what we have done today.
When I will watch the video, I will.
Huh?
I will.
So everybody's
I'll
fine.
have to watch.
Everybody's fine with
No,
the
I'll
video.
have to watch. Yes, I'll have to watch the video.
Okay. No problem. So aside from this class, any other thing that we want to ask questions on? I don't like you guys. You guys' spirit is very dull today. Eh?
When you said it's the ladies, only the ladies that ask questions. What do you expect?
No. That's not what I'm
Because
saying.
the
No.
our parameter is down.
Yeah? What did you say?
Said our parameter is they're not relating.
It's not relating. I connect it to better connect it. See, I'm not saying the ladies should not ask questions. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that it seems like the guys are understanding because I don't hear the guys talk at all. You guys should keep talking. If you take me back, I don't mind. I will show you what you need to do. But the thing that is important is, like I said, is understanding it. Understanding why you're doing what you are doing. So if you understand why you're doing what you are doing, then it's easier for you. I don't know, for maybe people are different. But for me, I like to understand what I'm doing. The moment I understand it, then I can now, bring in my own idea into it. Because if all these things I'm showing you, I'm just showing you, I are repeating what I'm doing. There's no idea. You're not doing, you're just repeating what you don't understand why I'm doing it. And that's you. Why are you here? Why are you in Blue Sky Citadel? You can always watch YouTube video and practice what they are teaching. So the reason why I'm here is for you to understand and ask questions. And this is the avenue for you to ask questions, understand and ask questions. So you don't just sit back and say, oh, I'm doing it. You watch the video. So yeah, so let me just stop recording now because nobody's asking any question and nobody's there.